In recent months, it seems like every time we turn on the news, we hear about another crane incident. In today's webinar, we won't be talking about the recent incidents directly, but Rick Sikora from Alliance Associate Member Cranemasters will be sharing important tips to help us avoid a serious or potentially fatal rigging incident. Through this session, he will help us better understand what are the most common types of crane and rigging related accidents that occur in manufacturing settings, how a comprehensive crane safety program can help mitigate these risks, the essential elements that every manufacturing facility should consider when developing a crane safety program, and what are some best practices for ensuring effective communication and collaboration between health and safety professionals, crane operators, and other personnel involved in the lifting operations. Rick has been in the overhead crane and rigging industry for more than 30 years. As an overhead crane technician, Red Seal journeyman welder, electrician, and millwright, Rick has helped empower many large organizations with their hoisting and rigging programs. Through this passion, he has helped develop the riggingresourcecenter.com as a free resource for industry to use. riggingresourcecenter.com. Before I give the floor to Rick, I just want to remind you that you can ask questions using the Q&A icon at the bottom of the screen at any time during the session. Welcome, Rick.
Anna, thanks for getting this all working. And to everyone in industry, thanks for being here today. It looks like we got just about 80 people registered today, and I'm looking forward to talking about hoisting and rigging and some things that are going well in industry, some things that we need improvement on. And I'm looking for your involvement as we go along today through this journey. So the first question I got for everybody in the room today: what makes a competent rigger? What are the 3 things that make a competent rigger? Come on, sure, come on. Knowledge, there we go. Knowledge and experience. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Karen. Training, thank you. Thank you. What is a competent rigger? It's those things. I agree with you. Okay. What type of training do we need? What type of training do we need? Hands-on training. Thanks, Doug. Evaluation, testing. Thanks, Alyssa. You're absolutely right. Okay. I'm going to give you resources and information today to make sure that we have competent riggers on site. Okay. Everything we do about rigging is to question what we do. Question what we do. In order to identify discrepancies that may result in error or incorrect application of rigging, individuals must avoid complacency and continuously challenge what we're doing. Okay. Competency is qualified training experience, QTE, qualified training experience. What does training mean? Has anybody in this room ever taken rigging or crane training before? Has anybody out there ever received a rigging ticket? I'm looking at the chats. Has anybody received? No. No. Oh my goodness. I have training, but no ticket. No. Oh my goodness. Okay, we need to help industry here. So just to let you know, what training means is, have you been trained on the make, model, and brand of rigging equipment you're using? And then what was really good is, how do we confirm their experience using that rigging tool? Okay, so for example, let's just start really basic here, really basic about rigging competency. Hardware. What standards must our rigging be compliant to? What standards in BC must our rigging be compliant to? CSA, 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 Tanya, Jeff, thank you. Thank you, Robert, thank you. Okay. I wish you were here because I would give you a free keychain because you're absolutely incorrect. Okay. There is no CSA standards in Canada for rigging equipment. Uh-oh. All our standards have to be compliant to ASME. So if you look in WorkSafe BC, it says that our slings and stuff like that must be compliant to an ASME standard. There is no CSA standards in Canada for rigging equipment. Okay, so ASME, your WorkSafe BC, manufacturer specifications. Let me ask another question in this room. Has anyone in this room ever read the owner's manual of a shackle? Has anybody in this room ever read the owner's manual of a shackle? No, 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 no. Yes, Jim, you read an owner's manual. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. But we got more no's than yeses. Okay, we got more no's than yeses. So we're going to fix that up. Crane trainer. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to read the owner's manual. The very first question I'll ask if something happens on your site, did you provide the worker the information to use the tool correctly? And we do need the manufacturer specifications available on site. Design factor. What does design factor mean? When I say all your rigging equipment must be designed to a design factor, what does that mean? What does design factor mean to us? Don't know. Karen, don't know. Safe working load. Thank you. Engineered, Sean. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Excellent questions. Watch this here right now. Watch what's happening. Watch the shackle. What's it doing? It's distorting. It's elongating. It's giving me a warning sign before failure. A 35-ton shackle broke at 280 tons. A 35-ton shackle broke at 280 tons. So on your job sites, how do you know if your rigging products will distort before failure? How do you know that your rigging products have a 5-to-1 design factor? How do you know your rigging products, if it's rated for 10 tons, won't break until it sees 50 tons? The only way you know that is if it's built to an ASME standard. What 3 markings must be on a shackle? What 3 markings must be on the body of a shackle? I'm giving you guys 8 hours of training in 40 minutes, so we're going to be quick. Working load limit, weight limit, I agree. Working load limit. What's the most important thing to be on a shackle? Rating, manufacturer's name, working load limit, manufacturer, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Pull angle, oh my goodness, Robert, thank you. Out of all those answers that were provided, which ones are correct? And the most important one is manufacturer's name. No manufacturer's name, no use. Rated load, that's our working load limit. And size, the size of the shackle, okay? The rest of the stuff is extra stuff, but the minimum standards is manufacturer's name, rated load, size. Perfect. Why are manufacturer specifications so important is because there's hundreds of different make, models, and brand of shackles on site. Are all shackles made for lifting? No. Daniel says no. Alyssa says no. Okay. So if they're not all made for lifting, how would we confirm when they are made for lifting? And that is by reading the owner's manual. And I'm going to let you know right now, if you read the owner's manual, some of them are going to say not recommended for lifting. So it looks like a shackle. It smells like a shackle. It tastes like a shackle, but might not mean it's made for lifting. Huh. What brands of shackles do you guys have on your job site? Crosby. Tanya, is Crosby made for lifting? Some are, mostly. How many people read the owner's manual? That's the key. We need to provide our workers the information to use the tool correctly. No owner's manual, no use. Doug, have you ever read of fake Crosby shackles or not shackles that are not imposters? Okay, so going ahead, we know shackles need to come with an owner's manual. How much would you guys lift with this eye bolt in front of us? Take a look at the picture. How much would you lift with this eye bolt in front of us? Half a ton, 5 ton. Look at the manual. There we go, Robert. Look at the manual. There we go. Did you know that eye bolts don't come with ratings on them? They usually only come with sizes. They usually only come with sizes on them. Huh. The only way you know how much you can lift is by looking in the owner's manual. But half ton means the size of the bolt, not capacity. Not capacity. This only tells you the size of the threads. So all those eye bolts that come on electric motors, pumps, and compressors, are those made for lifting? Do they meet the ASME standard? What temperature range do you think eye bolts are made to? What temperature range? I don't know. Robert don't know. Where would I find the information? Ask purchasing, only purchasers, Vanguard, and must be branded. Okay. The build standard for eye bolts only have to be rated at -1 Celsius. 0 capacity after -1. Oh, I forgot. I'm teaching the BC today. It never gets below -1 there. No owner's manual, no use. Can't stress it enough. What standards must our slings be based on? What standards must slings be compliant to? ASME, there we go. Fantastic. You betcha. And that's written in WorkSafe BC. All our slings on site must have initial, frequent, and periodic. Initial, frequent, periodic. Initial means when the rigging is brand new, someone from your company must inspect it for compliancy. Frequent, every time the worker uses it, must be inspected according to the manufacturer specifications. Periodically, at a minimum once a year with records. I want you to think about your job site you're at right now and in your shops right now. Could you go out there and take a look at every shackle, eye bolt, sling out there and make sure it has a periodic inspection or some type of inspection tag on it? Yes or no? I got one yes, I got one no, 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 no. How come? It's only been in effect forever. How come we're not doing periodic inspections? How come our workers aren't trained to make sure it has a periodic inspection? All that's written in the owner's manual, all that's written in the ASME standard. Does anybody have any bridle slings on site? A one-legged, two-legged, three-legged, or four-legged sling on site? Does anybody have any one-legged, two-legged, three-legged, or four-legged slings on site? Yes, double leg. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. No tag, no label, four-legged. Karina, I'm going to ask you a question if you don't mind. If a one-legged sling's rated for 1,000 pounds, means it's good for 1,000 pounds on one leg. A two-legged sling rated for 1,000 pounds, does it mean it's rated for 1,000 pounds on one leg or two legs? One leg or two legs? Two legs. Two legs straight up and down or two legs at 60, 45, or 30? Is it two legs straight up and down or two legs at 60, 45, or 30? Straight up and down or at 60, 45, or 30? Straight. Look at the manual. Check the manual right on. Now ask yourself the question. Do you have the manual available to the workers? Okay. And I see a lot of beautiful answers coming in. Some are right, some are wrong. Okay. I wish I was in front of you because for every wrong answer, I'll give you a free keychain. A three-legged chain sling is rated on 3 legs. A four-legged chain sling is rated on how many legs? A four-legged chain sling is rated on how many legs? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. What makes a competent rigger? 2. Check the manual. There we go. 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 3. 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 3. Huh. Oh my goodness. What do you think of this picture? How many people in the room today watch their workers put their hands on loads? Yes. Yep. How many people walk past activities on a daily basis with their hands on the load? Yes, 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 yes. And what happens when this chain sling breaks? Okay. This is a reenactment we did. When this chain broke, one piece of the chain was stuck into the roof. The other piece flew through and through this door here. And we found the link outside. Okay. They're in the line of fire. Okay. Trust me on this one in this room today. Loads don't fall straight down. Loads fall northeast, southwest when they break. But more importantly, what we have to learn today is when the Ford's stuck in the mud and the Dodge comes to pull it out, do we stand next to the tow rope? I like the nose. I like the nose. What's telling you not to do that? What's telling you not to stand next to the tow rope? Because there's stored energy. Okay. Trust me on this. Is there not the same stored energy in the sling? How come we're not scared of the rigging slings, but we're petrified of it as a tow rope? Okay. Just think about it. It's the same concept. We need to get away from there. Quickly on web slings. On web slings, how much of a cut are you allowed on a web sling? How much of a cut are you allowed on a web sling? None. A little bit, Matthew? Just a little bit? A quarter inch, Robert? None. Equal to the width? Oh my goodness, 0. Oh my goodness. Who has the right answer? Who has the right answer? Check the manual. Thank you. And it's going to say 0 cuts, 0 frays. Old industry practices used to allow us a little bit. Manufacturers now say 0. How much sunlight is our slings allowed to see? How much salt water is our slings allowed to see? Has anybody ever used a synthetic sling in the rain or in a wet environment? Okay. They all play a factor in what we're using. Oh my goodness, whose boat are we lifting? Haha, I think this is Anna or Sasan's boat. That's what I think this is. Would I want to use a set of chain slings to lift this boat? No. I'm putting synthetic slings into salt water. Okay. Is this a balanced load or unbalanced load? Do you think it's heavier, a little bit more on the motor side, maybe than the front? Would this be classified as a critical lift? Would this be classified as a standard lift? And what makes a competent rigger to lift this? Those are the questions we got. We have all the resources for you available at the end to help you on your journey for competency. I'm just raising a bunch of questions right now. Polyester round slings. They're the new sling on the market. Okay. How many people in this room have ever lifted with a polyester round sling? And how many people in this room actually know it tells me what size shackle or hook to use when I'm using it? How many people in this room knew that when they use a polyester round sling, it tells me what size hardware to use? How many people in this room have actually ever seen a manual on a polyester round sling? Here's a, never seen a polyester round sling. Do you know how to have any? Here's a polyester round sling in the owner's manual. It says it must go around 7/8 of an inch. What do we use to protect our slings from damage? What do we use to protect our slings from damage? Softeners. What's a softener, Tanya? Rubber. I wish you were here. I'd give you a keychain and a coffee mug. Absolutely incorrect. Leather gloves. Incorrect. Old slings. Incorrect. Can you prove that that rubber is going to protect the sling, or are we assuming that that rubber is going to protect the sling? And you can see here from previous lifts that the rubber has been cut many times before. What's that telling us in industry? Cut resistant material. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you probably can't see me or whatever like that, but we've got all kinds of engineered manufactured edge protection. Engineered and manufactured edge protection, or else we're assuming. I don't want to give you a number, but probably half of the rigging accidents I investigated between Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan over the last 2 years was caused from improper edge protection. Okay. This company here assembled the crane. They made the lift. They tried to stop the lift. They said, no, it's going to be absolutely fine. They did a test lift. And when they lifted it, the slings blew open like butter and this whole crane came crashing down to the ground. If you're ever in your mind on a job site and you're questioning that the sling might be cut in a lift, you have to use manufactured edge protection. Okay. I'm watching my time here. Is edge protection mandatory? 100% it is, Michael. Right here. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect timing. Right in the WSTDA bulletin. So that's Web Sling and Tie Down Association. Abrasion protection will not prevent damage from cutting. If protection against cutting is necessary, use only protection that has been designed, tested, and rated by the manufacturer. Thank you for that. So all our slings must be compliant to ASME. ASME says all our slings must be built to the WSTDA standard. Okay. Here's samples of different types of manufactured edge protection with ratings. Okay, when we're using our slings, we have 3 different types of hitches: choker, vertical, basket. Choker, vertical, basket. Vertical is 100%. Choker is about 75% of 100%, and basket is 200%. Okay. In industry, we have the vertical, choke, basket. We have a modified basket. We have a double wrap choke. We have a double wrap basket. What's the purpose of double wrapping? What does WorkSafe BC say about double wrapping in your act? Mohammed, great. Prevent it from rolling. Sean, great. It says any item that is longer than 10 feet, more than 2 pieces, must be double wrapped for load securement. How many people have read the rigging section in WorkSafe? Tanya, yes. Okay, perfect. And then we have an adjustable sling. So there's many different types of rigging configurations in industry. How do we make our workers competent in all these different types? In your company right now, think about your company right now. How many people have a hoisting and rigging policy? Number one. Number two, how many people have a hoisting and rigging policy that references standards? How many people in industry have a hoisting and rigging policy that identifies competency? Okay. It all needs to be clearly identified, please. Sling tension. What happens to the tension on my slings when I start putting them at an angle? What happens to the tension on my slings when I start putting them at an angle? High tension. Thank you, Tanya. The tension goes up. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So as the sling angle lowers, your tension increases. So if the center of gravity on a lift was in the middle, that's your balance point, and you had two slings attached to the load, you could say that there's 15,000 pounds of tension on each sling, 30,000 divided by 2. If our slings are at 60 degrees, we look in the owner's manual, and it says, if your slings are at 60 degrees, your multiplier is 1.155. So that means there's two slings holding a load. I'm going to go 30,000 divided by 2 times 1.55 means I need a 17,325 pound sling here and a 17,325 pound sling here. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. It increases. Thank you. At 45 degrees, I look in the owner's manual and it says it increases by 1.414. So 30,000 divided by 2 times 1.414. I need a 21,000 pound sling on this side and a 21,000 pound sling on this side. If I put a scale right here, it would read 21,000 pounds. And at 30 degrees, it says multiply the load weight by 2. 30,000 divided by 2 times 2, I need a 30,000 pound sling here and a 30,000 pound sling here. So what this means is, if I go back and we look at a choke hitch and we're putting it in a tight choke hitch, a tight choke can derate your sling by half. And then we apply it onto our load, we can really overload our sling. Okay, we can really overload our sling. And just to let you know, you probably can't see my face here or whatever like that, but you have a built-in protractor in your hand. This is 0, this is 30, this is 45, this is 60. You can always tell sling tension by using your hand. When you lift with 4 slings, we got 10 minutes here. I got to go fast. When we lift with 4 slings, how many slings hold the load? When we lift with 4 slings, how many slings hold the load? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3. Who's right? Who's right? Who's right? Let me rephrase the question. We're going out for supper tonight. We're going to come down. We're going to train our employees to be competent. And then we're going to go out for dinner later because we had a hard day. And I sit down at the table and I put my elbows on the table and that table rocks to me. And then you're going to come down. You're going to sit at the table and the pack of matches slipped out of one of the table legs. And you put your elbows on the table and the table rocks to you. When the table is rocking, how many legs is it rocking on? Jim says 2. Shelly says 2. Tanya says 2. Oh my goodness. Absolutely right. What moves first in this room today? What moves first, the crane or the load? The crane. The crane takes off. The load dips. The load catches up to the crane. Then the crane stops. What does load do? It's identical to that table at the restaurant. It's always rocking on 2 legs. Okay. Now we're going back. When you lift with 3 slings, how many slings hold the load? 1, 2, or 3. When you lift with 3 slings, how many slings hold the load? 1, 1. I love it. I absolutely love this in here today. And I love your energy of participation today. Okay. Let me rephrase the question. What makes a competent rigger in BC? Training. What kind of training? Okay, and that's the magic question. And I really appreciate MSSA BC inviting us in to do this today. Okay. And it has to be the appropriate training for the type of work you're going to do. I'm going to talk to everybody here. We're going to the playground right now. We're going to sit in a tire swing. We're going to sit in a three-legged tire swing. When we sit in a three-legged tire swing, how many chains are holding the load? 3. What happens to one of the chains when I start swinging the tire swing? What happens to one of the chains when I start swinging the tire swing and introducing a northeast, southwest? What happens to one of the chains? It gets loose. That's right. So how many chains are holding the load on 3? 2. 4 is 2. 3 is 2. 8 is 2. 16 is 2. Any more than 2, get a qualified rigger in there or an engineer to tell you. Fantastic. Good. Anybody using spreader bars on site? Anybody seen a spreader bar on site? Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. If you look at the spreader bar really quick, it's 2 tons capacity. Is it rated for 2 tons all the way in, or is it rated for 2 tons all the way out if it's adjustable? Is it rated for 2 tons all the way in or rated for 2 tons all the way out? Out. Check the manual. Look in the manual. Okay. Before me saying the owner's manual, what would you assume? In or out? In, out. Sasan and Anna and Jean, I'm loving this interaction today because it's really proving our point today about consistency and lack of competency and lack of a clear understanding of what we need to do to change this industry. We are going to change this industry. Okay. We're going to read the owner's manual. We can all agree in this room today that it's strongest all the way in. We can all agree in this room today it should be rated for the weakest link all the way out. We don't know unless we read the owner's manual. We can't tell. Please do not assume when we rig, and please question everything we do. Okay. We have plate clamps and beam clamps and magnets and grapples and beam clamps and all these different types of things on there. Is there any one of these devices that you guys are using right now that you've seen in your shop setting? Beam clamp. Tanya, do they use a beam clamp to support a load to hang rigging from, or do they use a beam clamp inverted to pick up a beam? I've seen it both ways. You betcha. You betcha. Did you know that most beam clamps can't be used at an angle? Thank you. Magnets. When's the last time you sent your magnet out for a periodic inspection? Is a magnet good on thicker steel or thinner steel? If a plate is 1 inch thick, can it be longer than a 1/4 inch plate or shorter? How many surface scratches are we allowed to have on the bottom of a plate clamp? Have we given the workers the owner's manual of a plate clamp? Or a plate clamp magnet, sorry, magnets I was talking about. On a plate clamp, can you take a plate from horizontal to vertical? If the plate clamp is rated at 2,000 pounds, what's the minimum weight it can lift? Doug, if the plate clamp's rated for 2,000 pounds, it can lift a 2,000 pound plate. What's the minimum weight it can lift? 0, 50, 500? Doug, do you think it needs weight for bite? Look in the owner's manual, Sylvanus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't stress it enough. Please look in the owner's manual. How many people on site have ever used a lever hoist or a hand chain hoist? How hard are you allowed to pull on the handle? How hard are we allowed to pull on the handle? Okay, let me rephrase the question. Have you used 1 arm? Have you used 2 arms? Have you used 2 arms in a boot? How hard are you allowed to pull on a hand chain? Okay, don't do this. Look at right here. Look at the handle. It says at 35 kilograms. At 35 kilograms of pull, that's about 75 pounds. You are lifting 6,600 pounds with 1 arm pressure You are lifting 6,600 pounds, not with 2 arms, not like this, not like Tony, okay? You can't wrap the chain around anything. Safety latch has always got to be closed. Here's 20 questions to consider when you make a lift. I'm just going to skip those right now. Who's the safest person in the picture? I got 3 minutes. Who's the safest person in the picture? The operator, thank you. None, thank you. The driver, thank you. Operator, thank you. Does this person in the blue need to be there? No, but does he feel important? Yes. This person in the red, does he need to have his hand on the load? No, but does he feel important? Yes. The company policy said tie a tagline on the load. Does this person in the white need to be under the load? No. But does he feel important? Yes. Loads don't fall straight down. Loads don't fall straight down. When these slings break on this side, these two people. Most people think loads fall straight down and they think line of fire is directly near or underneath it. Not a true statement. We need to understand line of fire. Where's the sling going to go when it breaks? Okay. Good. There's a new product on the industry called no-touch tools. We have push-pull sticks. We have hookets. We got grab hooks. We got magnets. We got magnets with handles on them. There's all kinds of no-touch tools. So in industry right now, there's all kinds of tools out there to prevent the worker from being near the load. It's quick. It's handy. It's fast. It doesn't work in all applications, but you can push and pull. Or if you have to grab a tagline, you take the no-touch tool and you hook on the tagline and you pull it towards you. Okay. We lost a worker in 2013 in Alberta. We applied for creative sentencing funding from the government to start making industry a safer and better place.
To the Rigging Resource Center. This site was designed as a free resource for anyone working with rigging equipment. It was developed in 2013 after a fatal rigging incident in Atchison, Alberta. The company involved pleaded guilty under OH&S and was fined. The funds were then awarded to MHSA in partnership with Cranemasters to create the Rigging Resource Center. The Rigging Resource Center can be used by employers, supervisors, or workers involved with the use of rigging components. To get started, look for the product you require information for. You can choose from a variety of rigging products, including slings, hooks, hardware, below the hook lifting devices, or manual hoists. And there's even information on non-commercially manufactured devices and lift planning. For example, if you click on a shackle, the website will provide you information on the shackle requirements referenced from Alberta OH&S and ASME standards. The website will also provide information on the product's required markings, training, inspection requirements, and removal criteria. Near the end of the items page, free printable resources are available. They can be used to test a worker's competency or provide questions to ask your rigging supplier. There are even printable toolbox talks to help you with your next safety or toolbox meeting. Once you have gathered the information you were looking for, challenge yourself by taking a short quiz to test your product knowledge. For any questions or more information, please contact us through our contact page.
So to summarize really quickly here, I feel really honored and privileged to join MSABC to help them on their journey for compliancy. I'm really honored today to have 80 people show up for a webinar and take time out of your day to help us change this industry. as on behalf of Cranemasters, we do one thing, which is crane and rigging education and consulting. So whatever resources your team needs or whatever questions or toolbox talks or everything like that, please contact your MSA ABC representative or Cranemasters. Okay, we'll definitely help you out on this journey. But I haven't been home in a couple of years dealing with Western Canada with the incident accidents that are happening in the industry right now. It's an alarming statistic. We're here to support you, but we're also here to support you that your workers are going to be able to use the information provided in an effective manner. And we're going to empower your workers on your job site to help your company succeed in a positive change. So again, Anna, Jean, and Sasan, thank you for your time. I'm open for questions.
Wow, very good, Rick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And today, very eye-opening, I have to say, and I'm sure everyone here now they understand the importance of the owner manuals, specific trainings on the rigging equipment, and also hands-on training. Very good one, Rick. Thank you so much. We are going to work on the questions and answer thing now. I have a couple of questions here. Let's start with this. And the first one for our audience. Could you outline the main steps involved in creating a robust and effective crane safety program within a manufacturing facility?
Okay. So the question is that you're working in a rigging and manufacturing facility. Okay. The number one thing is we have to move away from best industry practices, and you have to question what you want to develop it on. So when you want to develop a practice in your company is number one, what are you designing that practice from? And we learned today, well, we're going to design it from the ASME standards because they're referenced. We're also going to design it from the manufacturer's point of view. And we're also going to do hazard assessments in a different manner. We're going to ask that new worker walking into your facility, what scares you? We all become complacent in our environments and our fear gets lost over time. But when that new worker comes on site or a guest comes on site, ask them as they're walking through, what's bothering you right now or what's scaring you right now, and design it from that. And the other thing is you can email MSABC or email us and we'll give you an outline on what should be in a hoisting and rigging policy.
Thank you, Rick. And in one sentence, how would you summarize the key takeaways from this webinar regarding the importance of crane and rigging knowledge programs for our employers in the manufacturing industry?
So if I get the question correct, let me just paraphrase the question. The question is, what is the biggest key takeaway from today?
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest question I would have is I'm going to go right to the very start. And for example, the next 2 days, I'm going to be on a huge facility, and all I'm going to be doing is walking through the huge facility and asking simple, empowering questions. We need to question what we're doing. That's the biggest takeaway I got is question, was my overhead crane inspected correctly? Who inspected my overhead crane? Is my rigging even made for lifting? What temperature range is my rigging good for? When's the last time I'd had a periodic inspection? What does line of fire mean to you, new worker? What does line of fire mean to you, experienced worker? And fail safely. If the load that was going to be lifted failed, how would you ensure that it failed safely? We become very complacent, challenge what the norm is. And through those, but do it in a positive manner and help your team change your environment.
Thank you, Rick. I have another question here. At the start of the session, you talked about ASME standard or regulations. The question is here, what is ASME? Who is ASME? Can you tell us more about this?
Sure. So if you look in WorkSafe BC and it says that all slings used in BC must be compliant to the ASME B30.9 standard. ASME stands for American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Okay, and it's a really easy and useful document to use. But it tells industry how to build it, what the design factor must be, application conditions. Currently, right now, there is no CSA standard in Canada that tells us how rigging products should be built. So that's why most provinces have adopted the ASME standard.
Good. I have a question from Doc here. There is a question which says about shifting weight loads while rolling units over 20,000 pounds. How do you suggest locking down a guideline?
Okay. So you're rolling something that is 20,000 pounds. So I'm not positive on the question. The question is what capacity of rigging do we need? Or would the question be, how do we stop it from shifting or sliding in the slings? You know, is it the double wrap basket that we have to use to prevent it from sliding? Okay, so question, what about shifting load weight? We're rolling units over 20,000 pounds. Okay, so rolling a unit, is it a round unit that we're rolling, or we're taking a rectangular unit that we have to flip 180 degrees?
Double chain basket.
Double chain basket. Okay. So then that's a really neat one, and chain is a real neat one. Okay. If I go down to chain, the first question I got for you, can you basket a chain? What is the radius the chain must go around? Because chain can never go around a 90-degree corner without edge protection. What happens to my capacity of a chain when I put it in a basket, right? Because the chain's always made in a single leg. What happens when I take the chain and now basket it back up to the same ring? What happens to my capacity on the chain? And Doug, would the rigging product actually slide in the chain, or are you trying to secure it in the chain to prevent it from sliding? So Doug, if you, right at the very end here is Braden's email address, send Braden a quick email with a picture, and I'll give you all the regulations and the questions to help you out with that picture, because I'm just not understanding it 100%, but I can definitely give you sample guidelines.
Great. Doc, please be in touch with us around I-beam.
Okay, so hang on. Round I-beam. Chain can't go around anything square or a sharp I-beam. So that picture here I have here right now, chain must go around 2 times its own diameter. Chain for it to get its full rating must go around 6 times its own diameter. So Doug, just to reinforce something really quick here, I'm just gonna go back to the chain. Right here, if this chain link size is 1/2 inch, it has to go around at least a 3 inch. So 6 times its own diameter is number one. A soft steel softener, thank you, Doug. You know what I mean? So as long as we get that radius there, and we don't want the chain links to slide either on the softener. We don't want the chain link sliding. So Doug, if you don't mind, send me a picture and I'll definitely help you out on that. These are the amazing questions, and these are the fun questions, and these are the challenging questions. I appreciate that, Doug.
Thank you, Doc. Rick, I have another question here from another attendee. Can you use a shackle if the manufacturer information has worn off?
Oh, so that's a
Well,
great question. So ask yourself the simple question. If I grab a shackle and the information is worn off, okay, would it pass a periodic inspection? Absolutely correct. So you guys answered the question in the chat room. No manufacturer's name, no use. If it's worn off, from a common knowledge point of view, you still know it's okay. But if it lived a life where it actually wore off the name of the shackle, it's probably had a good life already and it's time to remove it from service. Well, the answer is no.
Thank you, Rick. And that was the last question. Thank you very much.
No, for sure. And again, we're here for resources. Help us encourage and change this industry. And we are going to make it a safer day.
Very good. I appreciate you, Rick. I have some information for the attendees. If you didn't know, the Manufacturing Safety Alliance of BC has a team of advisors who can help you evaluate your health and safety needs, including what gaps may exist in your rigging safety program. We can then work with you to develop a plan on how to strengthen your health and safety programs. Once again, thank you, Rick, for joining us today. You've provided us with some great information and resources for evaluating and understanding what we need for crane and rigging safety. Thank you to all audience for taking time out your day to join us today. We will be sharing the webinar recording, presentation, and any resources shared today with you all later this week. About the Make It Safe conference in Okanagan on April 18 in Kelowna. We are expecting another sold-out event, but there is still time to register at early bird rates at makeitsafe.ca. Our next webinar will be at the end of April with business continuity expert Paul Breed. Paul will be sharing key elements of how to implement a business continuity program, an essential way to help your business be resilient when a disaster strikes. We will be sharing registration information in the next couple of weeks. And at the beginning of May, we are excited to present 9 new classes around the Lower Mainland for NOSH Health and Safety Week. Register today to get your training booked for 2024. Join us June 6th for the annual Safety Pinnacle Awards Gala to celebrate achievements in health and safety excellence from this past year. Tickets will be going on sale in April. Visit us online anytime for help or to access our full library of webinars, resources, and training. Watch for an email tomorrow with a link to the recording of today's session and a serial link to share your feedback and topic ideas. Thank you again for attending. Have a great day, guys. Bye.